morning, everyone. We're gonna try, or I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different this week. I don't have any huge projects going on at the moment anyway that are gonna take up a whole video. So instead this week, I'm just gonna show you a little bit of what we do every day. Well, today, the first thing I need to do is go out front and mow. I'm gonna go mow, and then when we get back, I think I'm gonna get a chance to start painting the rabbit hutch because it's not supposed to rain today. Okay, the mowing is done. Now I'm gonna get some paint on this rabbit hutch. Did you come to help paint?
Not going to watch.
Yeah, no watching allowed. If you're not going to help, you have to go work on something else.
Shouldn't you have painted the inside first?
Why?
So you're not leaning over the paint?
The door's over there. I'm not going to lean over this paint. But, you know, I can give you a paintbrush and you can show me how it's done.
No. You're doing fine. How's it going, baby?
Well, I got 2 coats on it, but I'm afraid it's going to take 3. And I still need to do the inside, but I'm going to let this dry and get back to it another day. It's almost time for me to start cooking. How's it look?
Looks great. I'd love it if I was a rabbit.
Don't even think it because I'm not painting our house. I hate painting. All right, well that's all I'm doing for today, so. There he is.
Hey, something's wrong. Why?
Water right up my nose. Here come the colors. Whee! Let's hope I don't get stuck again.
Surfing shortstop. Comes MJ. She looks beat. She looks wore out.
That's it. I'm tired. Time to go home. All right, it's time to put some quail eggs into the hatcher. Starting to hatch quail for our meat birds. Uh-oh, one fell out. Shoot, it broke too. Almost looks like that one's picked. This is day 14. That one's picked. This is 2 weeks worth of eggs that we collected from our hens. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is 1 week's worth of eggs that we collected from the hens. So this is the start of our quail for meat. There we go. There's a lot of eggs there. We'll have to see how many hatch. We're going to put them into the hatcher here, and hopefully most of them hatch. Well, I got a couple of onions here that I want to put in the dehydrator because I'm not going to get them used before they go bad. So we're going to make some onion powder today. I made onion powder out of all the long day onions that I had grown by mistake. And it came out really good. So since I need to use up these 2 onions here, I figured I'd show you guys how I made my onion powder. Let me wash this off. So it's actually very simple, but a little bit time consuming depending on how many onions you have to do. I've got my Presto dehydrator. And all I'm gonna do is cut this onion into rings. I do them probably about 1/4 of an inch thick. And you could do them thinner, and they would dry faster. Okay, so we've just got our rings here, and then I'm gonna pop them apart. So then we'll take the dehydrator here, and we're gonna lay them on here. And what I do is I do 4 from the same ring, and then I go back and I add them into the centers, because that way it will hold more that way. I don't like that one. And that's all you do. Now, if you don't have a dehydrator, you could do this in the oven. I would not do it in the oven this time of year. It is just way too hot. I'm already sweating. But you could put them in the oven as low as your oven will go, and just check them to see when they're dry. So we just got them on there like that. Fit on there as many as you can. You don't really want them overlapping or touching too much. I mean, I don't know. I let them touch. It says not to, but now I got this dehydrator from Walmart for like $32 or something. It was pretty cheap. So that's all I do for onion powder, and this is what I've made. That's how much I've made out of the long day onions that I grew. I didn't know any better, and I grew some long day onions that when these are all dry, then I'll put them into my coffee grinder, which I also bought from Walmart. I think this one was in the $20 range, and it's just a Krups coffee grinder. So when those are dry, I'll put them in there, grind them up until it's powder, and then put it in my jar, and we've got onion powder. Are you all recuperated from our trip to the water park? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay. So here's the garden, guys. Here's the pumpkins are all overgrown. We harvested all of those. We're looking for a spot to plant some potatoes. Our tomatoes, I think this is like some kind of fungus, or they're all like turning brown, the leaves. But I did get the trellises to work the way I wanted to. You can see they went out, all the tomatoes on the top there grew up over. We've had so much rain lately, everything's just dying. All of these tomatoes are dying. But we're looking for a bed to plant some potatoes in. And I don't see one. I know everybody plants their potatoes around here February 14th, but I wanted to try some here. We'll have to weed this bed out. So everybody plants their potatoes February 14th, and I got to thinking, well, why? Because it's cool February 14th, but it's not cool for the rest of the time the potatoes are growing. So I thought I wanted to try growing more than one crop of potatoes and see. So this is just an experiment. I want to see if we can get more than one crop of potatoes. If not, well, then we'll have to plant more of them February 14th. But the problem with planting them all in February is that we can't go through that many potatoes, and we don't have any cool areas to store potatoes. So they would end up going bad before we could use them all. Now this is just an experiment. We're here in zone 8B, and our first frost isn't until the end of November. So this is the end of July. We have at least all of August, September, and October for these to grow. So we're doing an experiment because I want to know why everybody grows them February 14th. Okay, let's make a trench down the middle here, Mikey. Okay, we've already grown something in this bed this year, so we're going to add what we have here, which isn't a whole lot. We've got some blood meal for the nitrogen, so it will grow nice green leaves.
I'll add the bone meal.
Okay, Mikey's putting in bone meal. And we're gonna add in some vegetable and tomato granular plant food. This will take longer to break down, so it should be there when the potatoes need it. This is organics. Not that I grow organically, but these are some Yukon potatoes that I ordered online. And some of them I cut in half, and I've let the cut side heal for a couple days. And then some of them just had eyes on the one side, so I left them whole. And we really liked the Yukon Gold, so that's what we're going with. And we're going to try to put them all the way down the bottom here. And hope we get them all in this bed. We may have to, we need to put them closer than that. And we want to put the side with the eyes going up. Okay, just like that. Now, I don't want to cover these up too much because we don't have a whole lot of extra dirt to be hilling. So I want to try to keep all the dirt to the side so that we can cover them up as they grow. So we're just going to cover them, 3 or 4 inches. Okay, potatoes are in. And I don't know if you can tell it, but I have sweat pouring down my face. It's already hot and humid out here. Okay, we are canning pears today. We love canned pears, and we could never eat all the pears that our trees grow before they go bad, so we're gonna can them up. So it's a pretty simple process. First thing we're gonna do is just get them all peeled, and we'll get the core out and cut them into quarters. And then I have a pot of water over here that has it's about a half a pot of water, and I put in a cup and a half of lemon juice, and that will just keep the pears from browning while we're getting them all done. Ocean's gonna help me out with this project. Now, we don't wait for the pears to get soft to can them, because if we did, they would get really, really soft and mushy, and it wouldn't be that good. So after we take them from the tree, we usually wait about 2 days. So what we'll do is we'll quarter this. Ocean, hand me one of those small knives. Okay, once we've got this quartered, we will cut out the core, just like that. And we like them in big pieces, so I'm just gonna, unless they're a really big pear, I'll just keep them in the quarters. And then we'll throw them in the pot of water that has the lemon juice in it. And that will keep them from browning until we can get them canned up. So we got a lot of pears to do here. That's all we're gonna do. Now, if the pear was really big, I would just take it and I would cut it like this, and we could make that size. All right, we've got a bunch of the pears peeled and cut up, and in this pot of water, this has 1.5 cups of lemon juice to keep them from browning. If they brown, it's no big deal. They still taste good, but people think they're not as attractive. Okay, and in this pot on the stove here, I have a light syrup, which is 5 cups of water for 2 cups of sugar. So you can do a double batch, triple batch. I've got a double batch here. It won't be enough. The idea now is we're going to put the pears into the syrup, let them cook about 5 minutes, just till they're heated all the way through, and then we'll put them in the jars. So let's do that. You don't want to put too many pears in all at once, or they take too long to heat up. That's probably enough to do 1 jar. Now this process does take a while. For us it takes all day, and we don't finish in 1 day just because we have a ton of pears. We have 2 pear trees, and this year they are totally loaded with pears. So between waiting the 5 minutes for the pears to heat up before putting them in the jar, and then we'll get 7 jars into the canner and canning them, each batch does take a while. So if you're going to do this and you have a lot of pears, make sure you have all day to dedicate to canning pears. Okay, so the pears are heated through. We're going to load them up into the jar. Now if you go by what the book says to place your pears so that the what do you call that, the divot where the core was is down. But these are way too hot for me to grab and try to pack them in there gently and make sure they're upside down and all that. So I just throw them in there. I don't know if it makes any difference, other than it just allows you to get more into the jar. I mean, as long as they're in the jar and they're in the liquids, that's all that matters. We're gonna load these up to 1 inch from the top. And they are very, very hot. Okay, once you get your pears loaded into the jar, you're going to use the syrup that you cooked them in to fill the jar. And we're going to fill the jar to 1/2 inch from the top. And we're going to use our little measuring device to get the air bubbles out. Make sure you don't need some more liquid in there. That one looks good. We're going to wipe down the rim with some white vinegar to make sure that we don't have any syrup on the rim, because that could keep the jar from sealing. We're going to put the lid on, put the ring on, and we're just going to do this finger tight, which means you want to just tighten it enough with your fingers. You don't want to use your wrist or anything. And then we're going to set that into the canner while we fill up the rest of the jars. And I think I'm going to set this down in there because I don't trust it not to fall over. Okay, so let me get all the jars filled up. It's going to be a while, so we'll keep adding pears to this pot, putting them in the jars, putting the syrup into the jar, and then we will probably have to make many more batches of the syrup. All right, this is the 7th jar. I got a little bit too much water in there. You have to have your water at least an inch over the top of the jars. So with this pot, you pretty much have to have it all the way up to the top. Whoops. Okay, let's pause for a minute because I'm making a mess. Okay, so we're gonna turn this on high. Put the cover on it, and we're gonna let it come to a rolling boil. Once this comes to a rolling boil, we're gonna process for 25 minutes for quart jars. Now, if you were doing pint jars, you would only do 20 minutes. So we're gonna process this for 25 minutes, and then we'll take them out, and let them cool, and they're all done, and they are delicious. So if you guys try it out, let me know. Well, I finished the rabbit hutch, and I'm ready to put the rabbits into it, but now I'm trying to figure out where to put it. I was going to put it right behind Ocean's bedroom because there's concrete there, and it would make it easier to sweep up their droppings from underneath it, but that's in the sun all day, and rabbits don't like the heat. So our other option is somewhere underneath this great big tree because this is shaded pretty much all day. This one doesn't mind being petted, it's the other one. What do you guys think, huh? You got a little bit more space now? Nope, you stay inside. Well, hopefully the rabbits are happier now. I do need to separate them still, but they're not gonna breed until this winter. It's way too hot right now. I'm hoping before this winter I can replicate this house, build another one just like it, put next to it so I can separate the does. And Casper, our buck, will get that pen all to himself. We're gonna clean it out and open up the door between the 2 floors so he can have upstairs and downstairs, which was the way we originally had it. So I'm done for the week.